First and foremost, I want to say, call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Chakodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, still rule and teach well, taught me this 100% true. Peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the planet Earth, pushing His word in humility and sincerity, as commanded by Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And you have this, I guess we know what October 4th was all about. You know, there was supposed to be something major that happened October 4th with the United States government sending out a frequency or some type of a warning or test for the emergency alert system, and people were speculating it could possibly be, something to trigger the five jizzle, something to trigger the juice that the people drunk. But it turns out around October 4th, you had this take place. Because what's today's date? Today is the 8th. So I think this happened maybe on the 6th. Because we know, number one, the Most High, Yahweh, is a man of war. If I could read that first. This is Exodus 15, verse 3. It says, Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. Okay, the Lord is the man of war. The Lord is his name. And that word Lord in all caps, it actually, if you go to the Hebrew, it should say Yahweh, Yahweh. Okay, so Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, through his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, is a man of war. And the Lord said that he will have war with Amalek, who is the small hats, the Ish people, the Ish people. Okay, the Lord said he will have war with that tribe from generation to generation, because that would be the tribe that would hijack, commit identity theft against his people. The tribe of Amalek of the nation of Edom, that tribe specifically disguises themselves as the people of the Lord. They disguise themselves as the people of the land of Israel, and they're not. They're not the Israelites. This is why the inhabitants of that land right now, they label themselves Israelis. Why not Israelites? Because they know that they have no factual connection to the people in the scriptures, but we actually do. And when I say we, I'm referring to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Seminole, Native American Indians of Negroid and Indian descent, according to the seed of the Father. We are the same people that go back to the Israelites. We are those people. If you trace, which we're not able to, and it's been left up to faith by the Heavenly Father. But if we were able to trace our father, 500 times back, it would go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those are our forefathers. Exodus 17 now and 16, it says, for he said, because the Lord have sworn that Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And as I explained, Amalek, that's the tribe of the nation of Edom that stole the Israelites' identity. Because there's no way that there should be war. There's no way that Israel should be at war, because the prophecies of the Bible say that when the Israelites go back to their homeland, there will be no more wars. So how is it that you have these people in the land that claim that they own the land, it's their land by right, by Abraham, but they're still at war? Since they've been there, it's been nothing but constant war in the Middle East. It's been it's a freaking melting pot, and that's also according to prophecy, pursuant to Joel the 2nd chapter. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai said that he will bring all nations into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, which is the Middle East. Okay, and he will plead with them there for his people, because that's the place where World War III is going to take place, that region of the Middle East. And the land of Israel, our homeland, is going to be blown to smithereens by thermonuclear missiles, man. So the missiles that's being shot, the 2,500 missiles that Hamas shot, that's nothing. That ain't nothing, man. That's just a warm up. So let me go to Isaiah 2. Isaiah 2 verse 4. I'm going to go straight to the point. It says, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares. Now, this is referring to the prophecy of when the Israelites go back home and the government of Israel is placed over the governments of the earth. That's what you can read if you start at verse 1. You read verse 1, 2, 3. It's going to speak on that. It's going to speak on how all the nations, matter of fact, let's read it. It says Isaiah 2 and 1, the word of Yeshaya, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. It shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And mountains represent governments. So the government of the mountain of Yahweh is going to be established on top of the governments of this earth. You can read the same thing in Revelation 11. Okay, Yahweh Shai has come back to take the crowns of these different kings, which symbolize him taking over that rulership. Verse 3, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. So when the Israelites, once again, inhabit their homeland once again, as it says in Isaiah 14, the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. When that happens, all the nations of the earth, they're going to have the bright idea, because of the wisdom and knowledge that Israel has. They're going to come up with the idea and mindset to let's go to Jerusalem to learn the ways of life. Because what we're going to be enforcing on the earth is it's not just our ways. It's literally the ways of life. Okay, it's the perfect way that the human body is supposed to operate on the planet Earth. Okay, or the human race is supposed to operate on the planet Earth. That's what we're going to implement. So the nations, they're going to have a mindset, let's go to the Israelites, let's go to our gods, our rulers. Okay, and they're going to teach us the ways of the Lord. That's not happening right now. I say that to say none of that's happening right now. Nobody's going to Israel to learn the ways of the Bible. Nobody. As a matter of fact, if you go to Israel, you're going to learn the ways of Satan. You're going to learn how to be a damn demon. You're going to learn how to damn be a mole. So it says in verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations, meaning the nation of Israel is going to judge these nations, and Yahweh Shai is going to be in the midst as well. And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. That's it. So when the true Israelites is in the land, there won't be no. I don't understand how Israel's at. Well, I do understand. I'm just joking when I say I don't understand, but there's no way that Israel, could be at war and the true Israelites be in their homeland. This is Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 17. It says, For brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. I also will make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness. You see? So I just seen a post on Instagram, 20 or 30 IDF, Israeli Defense Forces officers killed. But the Lord said he would make our officers peace. But yet you Israeli officers is getting slaughtered, man. I seen an article that said we're getting slaughtered over here by the Hamas people. And that's the spirit of the Lord, because once again, the Lord is a man of war. All of this is being done because eventually it's going to lead to World War III. Because when you read the book of Jeremiah, it tells you that the least of the flock shall draw them out. What does that mean? That means one of the smallest nations on earth, as far as landmass is concerned, but one of the most powerful as far as pool and power is concerned, the land of Israel is going to draw all these bigger nations into World War III. The least of the flock, this small, insignificant land that most people think, but it's not, it's actually the focal point of all of this is the land of Israel. That's why all these things is happening for the controversy of Zion. Okay. But the Lord said that small little land, the land of Israel, that's going to be the catalyst to bring Russia, America, Iran. You see, because all those nations have ties to Israel one way or another, negative or positive. Russia's got ties to Israel. And if these nations don't have ties to Israel, they have ties to another nation that has ties to Israel. You see, it says here in Jeremiah 49, verse 20, Jeremiah 50, verse 45, it says, "Therefore hear ye the counsel of Yahweh, that he have taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he have proposed against the land of the Chaldees. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them." So the least of the flock, once again, I explained, the land of Israel is going to be one of the main instigators of World War III. Whether they do it intentionally or unintentionally, the Lord is going to make it happen. Because once again, the people in the land, they took that land. They're imposters. They're not the actual people. And this is why you have war in Israel. Like the brother said, my aunt said, the next hashtag is going to be pray for Israel. We're not praying for Israel. Yahushua is not praying. Yahushua said, I pray for them. I pray not for the world. In St. John 17:9. And the world that Yahushua did not pray for was actually, he was talking about the world of Israel. But he said, look, I pray for them, meaning the elect of Israel. I pray not for the world, meaning the rest of the Israelites that's not believing, that's not going to believe. So it says here in Ezekiel 35, verse 6. So like Ezekiel 36, verse Ezekiel 36, verse 1. "Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, Ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh power, because the enemy have said against you, Aha! Even the ancient high places are ours in possession." And who is the top enemy of the Israelites? The Edomites. It tells you that in Psalms the 82nd chapter. It lists all the enemies of Israel. The number one enemy is the Edomites, which I explained that Amalek is Amalek was the grandson of Esau. Amalek is a tribe of the Edomites. And they are the enemy, and they are the ones that took our land, the ancient high places. What's the ancient high place? Jerusalem, because Jerusalem sits upon a hill. Our whole land, they took it into possession. Ezekiel 36:2, it says, "Thus saith the Lord power, because the enemy hath said against you, Aha! Even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Therefore prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord power, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen." They destroyed us, man. Through war, they destroyed us, man, to the point where we are now subject to all the other nations. We no longer have our own anything. We no longer even have our own, mind, man. You know, our nation, they don't think for themselves. And when I say think for themselves, I'm talking about outside of what the world is shoving down their throats. You know, they can't see outside of what the world is giving them. You know, they could think for themselves to do wickedness, but they can't think for themselves as far as the Lord opening their eyes. So we've been completely swallowed up. You know, we barely have fathers. We barely have homes. We barely have cars, cherries, you know. And now we're a possession unto the residue of the heathen. We got social security numbers. You got whatever is the equivalent to a social security number is in your nation. You're not free wherever you are. Even if you're not in America, you're in Canada, you're in Haiti, Jamaica, South America, whatever. You're not free. You're a slave to the system. You're a possession. And you got you got some cracker's last name. So it says in Ezekiel 36:2, reading on, "And swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession to the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord power. Thus saith the Lord power, to the mountains and to the rivers and to the hills and to the valleys and to the desolate wastes and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and a derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy, right? Because when the Lord brings this destruction, the river's gonna feel it, the hills gonna feel it, the valley's gonna feel it, the desolate places gonna feel it. It says, thus saith the Lord, surely in the fire of my jealousy, which is the nuclear fire, have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey. So what is the Lord saying? I'm going to read it again. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen. So the Lord is speaking against these heathen. It says, and against all Idumea. Idumea is a Greek way of saying Edom. So when the Lord in this verse, he's talking to Edom, the Edomites. He's talking to Amalek. He's talking to you so-called white people. It says, which have appointed my land into their possession. So-called white man, small hats, the tribe of Amalek of the nation of Edom, they appointed the Lord's land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, because they knew damn well it wasn't their land, and they did it out of spite and out of revenge to get back at their brother Jacob, to cast it out for a prey. Right, and they used that land as a fucking money laundering machine. You know, they use that land to pretty much make themselves rich, because they've convinced these other heathen, and most of the heathen know that they're not the people, but they're going to comply and they're going to go along with it, because as long as the Israelites is on bottom, we can do good and we can be free and we can be wicked. So that's what's going on right now. So there's no way. The Lord said that he was going to set us back in the land, and when he does, there will be no more wars. It's Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Yasha'Allah and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people, and the strangers is referring to the Israelite foreigners, okay? The strangers is referring to the Israelite foreigners. And even, the brothers coming in, they cleaving to the teachers. The believers are cleaving to the teachers. That's why they can cleave to the house of Jacob, because they're a part of the house of Jacob. The strangers, many times in the scriptures, the Israelites are called strangers. The strangers in this verse is not talking about the heathen. It's talking about the Israelites cleaving to the teachers, cleaving to the house of Jacob, because they're a part of the house of Jacob. Just like in Romans 11, talk about being grafted in. You can't be grafted in unless you're part of that same tree. So it says in verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh for servants and handmaids. And they shall. And so where is the Ish people? Where are all these servants and handmaids? Where are they servants and handmaids at? They supposed to be over there living like royalty. What's going on? They don't fit the prophecies. And we're not saying this because we hate white people, although we do hate Edomites. We're just stating the facts. We're showing you what the prophecies say. And the problem with the planet Earth is that people don't want to point out who's the devil. People don't want to make it. It's already obvious, but people will sit there and keep silent for the sake of status quo. People don't want to literally admit, well, damn, I guess these white people they must have they took the land, but they're not actually the people. And then now what? Now they have to get out of the land. Now the money that they took, they got to give it back. So that's just a whole rabbit hole that people don't want to have to deal with. It says, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. So the Israelites, when they go home, they're going to get rest. They're not going to be in fear. They're not going to be, oh my God, we're being slaughtered. What should we do? There ain't going to be none of that in the kingdom. Ain't nobody going to even lift up a damn finger. Because it said the nation that will not serve thee shall perish. Let me go back to this Isaiah 60 in verse 18. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, nor wasting and destruction within thy borders. So I was looking at the comment section, and you got a bunch of Israelites out here Although a lot of them aren't on the highways and byways teaching like they're supposed to, but you got a lot of Israelites online. So I go to the comment section of one of the news articles, and it was, of course, it's an Israelite on there, and he posted how the nation's not gonna learn war when the true Israelites is in the land. Then an Edomite commented back and said, Israel is at peace. Hamas started the war. Look, man, that's not how the prophecies work, man. When the scriptures say violence shall no more be heard in thy land, that means Israel's not going to be violent. The heathen's not going to be violent. Nobody's going to lift up a finger, man. Nobody's going to, matter of fact, Ezekiel 39, verse 9. And they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth and set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers and the bows and the arrows and the hand staves and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years. So we're actually going to destroy all the weapons on the earth, man. You know, oh, Israel have been at peace with themselves, but it's the other nations. They're the ones that cause the violence. You know, they're the ones that are learning war. Well, the scriptures say, no nation shall learn war anymore. So why are you in the land if you clearly don't fit the prophecies, and the prophecies ain't prophesying for you? You know, this word ain't working for you being in the land, man. You getting destroyed. It reminds me of when what was it, the Hamites, they were placed in our land by the king of Assyria, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's 2 Kings 17 or 1 Kings 17. And the Lord sent lions among them, man. And they getting their ass slaughtered. So the Lord said in the kingdom of heaven, you know, as we're establishing the kingdom of heaven, the heathen, we're going to have them burn all the weapons, all the missiles. They're going to burn everything. You know, so the scriptures say, violence shall no more be heard in thy land. Let's read it again, Isaiah 60 and 18. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise. So clearly, the people in the land of Israel are not the people. Okay, and what's happening over there is eventually going to lead to World War III. But one thing that we do know is that the radio frequency device, which is the Revelation 13 and 16, the MOTB, it has to be implemented before World War III comes, man. Okay, so we're not quite out of here. I know brothers get excited when they hear news about Israel. Look, the chip still got to come, point blank, period. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachakodash, double honors, deposit, Elder Great Millstone, who still will and teach well. Peace, blessing, safety to the elect. Kwame Asherah, Shalom.